Welcome to Lifing 101, a journey through life's experiences, challenges, and interpretations. An intriguing and soul-refining podcast that explores the countless twists of life. Get ready to be amused, enlightened, entertained, empowered, and inspired. Hosted by Tina C. Christian, your MC with the LPC, and guest co-host Lorenda McKinney, your MC with the PhD.
Welcome, lovely listeners, to an exciting episode of Lifing 101 podcast,
where we dive into life's little mysteries and offer you insights to help you lead a happier, more fulfilling life.
I'm your MC with the LPC, Tina C. Christian, navigating y'all through this journey up and down and all around on this emotional roller coaster we call life.
And I'm your MC with the PhD, Lorenda McKinney. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, sit back and relax while we embark on this restorative journey together.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening out there. Okay, so today's topic is state of arrival, navigating your new journey. So, Doc, today we're going to talk about things in regarding to settling into a new job, a new career path, and also making your connections in your new job and or within your new career path. So, what are some of the things that we probably want to point out for the listeners today to kind of give them an idea of how to navigate their new journey?
Okay, Tina. So you remember last week I said settling in probably is the most exciting part of your journey because you've done your planning, you've navigated your move, and now you're there. So it's time to live in it.
Right.
And remember, I told you guys by now you should have found your favorite happy hour.
Right.
But it's funny, I talk about that, but I'm really serious about it because let me tell you. So one of my favorite connections I've made was at a happy hour. So I met a young lady at a happy hour in Houston. And from there, I actually met her and two of her sisters. They were originally from California. And we connected because either I complimented something first or she complimented something first. But it was that just being open and conversating and not being a mean girl.
Right.
So basically, we just started talking about like some accessories or a shirt or something. And now, several years later, we're still friends. So that just goes to prove that regardless of where the connection is, it can last forever.
Right. I mean, you can make connections, like you said, pretty much anywhere.
Right.
Happy hour is a good spot if you like to drink or even if you like to eat, because sometimes you can have some meals at happy hour. It doesn't always have to be drinks. But some other places that you could probably make some connections with a new move would be even in your neighborhood, community. It could be neighbors. It could be at the grocery store. It could be at a church.
Right.
Yeah. Especially like I know when I moved to Texas, I was trying to find a church home. So I did find one that I really enjoyed. And there were some really nice people there. So that was a place that I felt like I could have built a community with had I stayed, but I chose not to. But I did meet people also in the complex that I lived in as well. So people at my child's school, other parents. It really is a lot of various different places.
It is.
Numerous places where you can make connections when you're settling in to build your support system and a community around you. What's some other type of connections you can think of?
So I'll tell you, most of us will probably need a hairdresser. So when I was looking for a hairdresser, I started, and this was different for me because I had never been, but I started at JCPenney's at a mall. And we don't necessarily go to JCPenney's to get our hair done. Let's just keep it real. But my hairdresser that I found was at JCPenney's, and we're friends still to this day. So I will tell you, don't rule out anyone or any part of your journey because it could be where you get your coffee at in the morning.
Yeah.
It can be at your church. It can be at your daycare. It can be at the school. It can be in your neighborhood, like Tina said. It can be anywhere that you consider your normal daily routines. There's somebody that can make your journey easier for you. There's also somebody there that may be going through the journey with you.
Correct.
So just make sure that you keep all your options open. And then when your kids bring home, let me remind you, I don't have any kids, so I'm saying this shit. And it might not make sense to you, but I'm saying it. Your kids may come home and they may have a little friend and they may be like, oh, oh, I really like such and such. So maybe that's an opportunity to get to know that friend's mom.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a connection.
Yeah, play dates.
Yeah.
Whether they're big or small children, they're going to have friends. They're going to make connections if you do have children. So, yes, definitely getting to know the parents. That is a great way to make connections.
Yeah, that may be a way. And then one of the other areas we want to branch off to, of course, when you relocate, you already have a career path in place because you've been doing something so long from where you are moving from. But let's say that you can't, those job openings are not in your new place. And you may have to venture off into something that is not what you're used to. That's another opportunity to gain at learning a new skill and also meeting new people there too. So we just have to leave those doors open too. And don't think because your job does not look exactly like the one you left, that it's no good for you.
Right. You have to be open to different opportunities.
You do.
And new opportunities because this is your new journey.
It is.
And even with that, networking within a job that you are working, even if it's not the one that you originally wanted to or initially thought you were going to get, you can network there and make connections to maybe even find a different job or find a new friend or someone that you can brainstorm with or give you some resources because everyone can be a resource to you.
Right.
No matter who they are. The people in passing, you'd be surprised.
Right.
Like you said, striking up that conversation in a restaurant, hell, striking up a conversation in a parking lot, just putting up a basket or giving somebody a basket. You could strike up a conversation and make a connection anywhere.
Yeah.
So don't overlook any opportunity for connection and networking with people and building relationships. And sometimes you'll be surprised how many people are going through that same new journey you are. Like you said with the person at the HEB last week you were talking about.
Right.
So, look at that. And I know with our friend that moved to Florida, she's forever running into people and making new connections.
Yeah.
And finding out certain connections that she had from other places, whether it was Kansas City or somewhere else. So you'd be surprised at the grocery store, at the hardware store, at the medical office or, the doctor's office, dental office. A lot of places where you can make connections, I'm sure. If you're a people person, some people aren't really, they don't have that outgoing personality or they may be a little shy or introverts. I wonder how does that work for them though?
Right. So I do think, like Tina said, it's important to leave all avenues open because the one that you least expect to yield results will be the one that does. But more for the shy people, because if y'all haven't noticed, I'm kind of shy. So let me think how I would like to meet people. No, I'm assuming that maybe the shyer people may have to go with word of mouth. Like somebody at their job, they may tell, I just recently located from Kansas City. I'm kind of finding my way around. And maybe that person that they talk to may have to tell somebody else and then they come back with results because they're probably not the person that's going to be so boastful that they meet friends on their own. Like I was able to meet somebody out at a happy hour, but that's because I'll talk to people. If you look like you're open and friendly, I'm going to talk to you. If you're doing my hair, I'm going to talk to you. You're up there doing my hair. Like, let's go ahead and find out how you got here and why you enjoy doing hair and all those type of things. So I guess it is a extrovert, introvert type of thing. The introverts may have a harder time, but it still can happen. Yeah. They may be the ones that maybe make the connection with their kids making connections.
True.
Or may make connections at church or somewhere that's more structured where there's people coming to them asking like, where you moved from? What do you like to do? They may have those more structured things. Extroverts may have the more happy hour like me or the more grocery store where you just start conversations or the elevator. I'm telling you, elevators just as small as the elevator, you may start a conversation with people.
Yeah. Sometimes something as simple as a compliment or a good morning or how you doing or something like that.
It is. And you can literally say, I'm just moving here. I'm just trying to, put my feet down and figure out what's good. And you may open up a conversation to, try this. Try that. So I guess the biggest thing is to just be open to new things. And when I say new things, I mean new friendships, new connections. Also, like we said, new journeys, new jobs, new chapters. You got to totally be open to it. You do.
And you have to sometimes not be so afraid that you won't ask questions.
Right.
Because, for instance, asking someone, hey, where do you get your hair done?
Right.
Or what's a good beautician or a good salon or a good nail tech in the area or, what's a good church, or can you recommend a good restaurant or something? You know,
Right.
Once you strike up a conversation, people generally, if they're decent people, they're going to talk, and then they may ask, well, what kind of, this or that are you looking for?
Do you like?
Or
Yeah.
do you like? And then you start striking up that conversation. It's something as simple as that. If you see someone with a nice hairdo, oh, who did your hair? That's lovely. Where do you get your hair done? Oh, I'm new. I'm from somewhere else, or something like that. Or even at your job, the people that you work with, if you have a new job, that's really one of the excellent places to really start connections and networking. And
it is,
hanging out maybe Friday after work or something. Hey, you want to go catch, a movie? Hey, you want to go get a drink? Or hey, you want to go get some dinner? I'm new here. I don't really have any friends or something like that. But you have to be open. Nobody's going to really come and knock on your door and come and get you. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, the staying inside.
You may not want them to be that
exactly. Are you opening the door when they do come? Like, that is really not what you want to wait for. Like, ask people, find people that you think are like you. And it's nothing wrong with that. And just ask, like, if you see them with their children, or if it's somebody that your kids like, so they have children, where do you go when you don't have your children? Like, where do you like to go to for happy hour? Where do you like to go to grab a quick bite to eat? Where do you like to go to enjoy wine? Where do you do that are adult activities? Because where you might want to share some activities that your kids can join in, you're also going to want some activities where you can pull yourself away from that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So asking questions about things that you like, or that you're interested in, or things that you want to do, or things that you're probably thinking about wanting to do, or things that you've heard about in the area, or things that they do. Because sometimes when you go to different places, they do different things.
Right. This is true.
They may have more opportunities and more activities than you're normally used to. Because I know, like we used to say, even though it's not true, I will admit it's not true. There's nothing to do here in Kansas City, which that's a lie. It's just probably nothing that we want to do, or certain people want to do. There's a ton of shit to do here, but you have to be open and willing, and honestly, you have to be willing to get out and try these different things. It may not be everything that you want to do, but there's restaurants, there's bars, there's clubs, there's museums, there's movie theater. There's plenty of opportunities to get out and do things if you choose to get out and do them. However, you may go to other places and cities and states, and they have some different type of opportunities, like a lot more live music and things like that I'd be interested in. Now, granted, we do have those opportunities here. I don't go that often anymore. Yeah. However, when you go to other places, say for instance, if you were to go to, I've heard, because I haven't been, but like maybe on the East Coast to like Philly or something, I heard they have a lot of live music opportunities. And so just depends on where you're at and what you're into. And maybe you're not familiar with that. So if it's something that you wanted to check out, ask around, ask people, where do people go to listen to, XYZ, if that's something that's big in that area. Like if you were to come to Kansas City, hey, where do everybody go and eat the barbecue? And they'd be like, hi, may I help you? So they would let go down the gates, go down to Arthur Brown.
And then you get nervous and you start stuttering. I want some fries and a sandwich that come with fries.
So just if you've heard of something in that area, if you're new to a location and you want to learn about something or go visit something, ask around, ask people, because I'm sure if they're from there, they've been. If they haven't, they know about it, or they know someone who has, or they can at least give you some resources or direct you in the right direction.
Yeah, and don't be discouraged. So this is the biggest thing. You just got to a new town. You've already filled yourself with probably some doubts. What if this doesn't work out? What if I don't make friends? Oh, I'm here and I only know one person, or sometimes you don't know anybody. So the biggest thing is to not let the first week or so dictate what your full journey will be, because you may not meet everybody then. However, if you do have children, you kind of do have an advantage.
You do.
Because that kind of opens you up to the door of people at school, childhood friends, and their parents. So that kind of opens you up to that. So you do have that advantage. If you don't have children, you pretty much relying on church, work, and maybe navigating through happy hour if that leads to some friendships for you. But just don't be afraid. I think the biggest thing is to be open.
Right. Get rid of that fear. I've made a recommendation a couple of times, once to a friend and once to a client that was new to the area, and one to the friend that was moving to a different area or had moved to a different area. Social media is like a great place to make connections. connections.
It really is.
And I say that not necessarily like you're not just getting out there and DMing people or anything like that. However, groups of associations and things that you're interested in. So like Doc was just saying, if you had kids, maybe trying to find a group where, you know, something had to do with kids in that area and you become a part of that group, and then you can kind of make connections with the members of the group. So if you like to cook, maybe you can find a cooking group in that area. And then, hey, guess what? You have thousands of connections or however many members that are in that group, whether there's like a women empowerment group in your area, a men's empowerment group, or if you're part of a fraternity, because I know moved away,
that's huge.
They were looking at, where's the Omegas at the chapter in this area? Or if you're part of a sorority,
that's huge.
You can use those as opportunities of making connections when you're settling into a new place. There are plenty of opportunities. Hey, if you're flying in and out of town, hey, at the airport, people that work at the airport, you'd be surprised. Say, for instance, you just come in, or if you're going out, the people that work at the damn ticketing thing, they're probably from the area.
Right.
You can easily ask them, hey, where's a good place to get something to eat?
Yeah.
Well, I've asked people in the rental car place when we went to Texas last year. We're like, hey, where? And they like, hey, you can go here. Well, I'm actually coming there when I get up. So you never know when and where you can make a connection at. You just have to be willing and open to starting conversations and looking for opportunities, networking, getting on social media. Hell, there's even like the events section in, like, say, for instance, Facebook. If I was to get on there right now and look for events in my area, they'll show you what's happening now. They'll show you what's happening this week or next week in your area. If you're willing to get out and do some of those things, you can meet some new people. Find the things that you're interested in, whether it has something to do with art or music or dining, whatever. You will find festivals and things like that you can attend, concerts or whatever.
Right.
You have to be willing to live.
Yeah.
And not just exist. You can't just sit in your house and wait and hope and think and say, oh, I haven't met anybody. Nobody's, friendly here with. You have to be willing and open and to try to just connect. Yeah. It's whether it's at work, church, school, wherever.
Yeah. And I'll say, we're fast to say you go to work and then you leave and go home. And that is true.
It is.
Because you don't want to build so many relationships at work that when things don't work out, now you don't want to go to work. We don't want you to get to that point. But at the same time, going to work may be your biggest advantage because you're probably going there every day.
Correct.
And you may be exposed to the biggest variety of people. Yeah. So it's okay to socialize and kind of find out what those people like to do. I mean, you don't want to build any relationships where they don't end up benefiting you, but the work, and then if you have children, their school life or their pickup and conferences and everything may be the two biggest areas. But I'm telling you, when I moved to Houston, I ended up friends with my hairdresser. I met people at happy hour that we're still friends to this day. That's probably one of your major things. You're going to have to branch out of your comfort zone. Because if you leave your home state and you go somewhere else and you are not willing to do anything different than you were in your home state, you may as well probably have stayed in your home state because you're going to feel the struggle. And the whole point of moving is so that you can gain some new insight on things and kind of meet new people and new adventures and everything. So it's going to be important for you to be open.
If you're not a people person or if you're okay with just doing things alone, because me, honestly, I can't recall making any major connections when I moved to places, but that's because that's who I am.
Right.
I'm not that person. I don't need all the extra relationships and connections. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I enjoy my alone time. I like to be with people and I like to be alone. I don't feel lonely when I'm not around people. I don't need a big friend base, and I'm not afraid to do things alone.
Yeah.
So, but I do know that you have to be willing to just kind of reach out or try things on your own. Yeah. One or the other. Either be willing to get out and do things and try new things. Look through the classifieds, your papers, your, whatever on social media. Find some things that you're interested in and get out and explore. Take a drive, go around, and there's local community centers. There's workout facilities. You can take classes in your communities, whether it's at a community center or go to a fitness center. You'd be surprised how many people you could meet there.
That's true.
Take a class and then guess what? Hell, go do a jazzercise or something. Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you, social media is going to be huge because if you go to social media and put in a state Trust me, there are going to be groups that come up, and some of them are not the groups where you got to put in 3 quick questions where they want you to answer to get in, like knock 3 times, run around the block, and tell your mama's middle name. Like, I think that's ridiculous. But there are a lot of groups where you can just join and you can just kind of see what other people are looking for, and you can, because when I went to Dallas last month or the month before, I went to a soul food festival. But I kind of was looking to see what else was out there to offer. And you can kind of look and just find out. Did the same thing with St. Louis. They're having a festival in August, so I kind of had looked or whatever. But there's lots of groups. Social media is going to be your best friend, but I'm not saying try to make a BFF or a love connection. No. I'm saying just read the reviews for restaurants, food places. If you're a foodie, look for restaurants. If you just want to kind of get out, look for those things. But always, at the same time, keep your common sense intact. Right. Because regardless of where you go, like when I moved to Houston, I will go out by myself because I'm not going to wait for somebody to, like Tina said, knock on your door, because chances are they may not. And those people that knock, probably you didn't invite. You probably don't want to go hang out with them. So we don't want to do that. But you can make things work for you, because if you get out and just start talking to people, you will definitely make some connections. You will.
Yeah. But like you said, the main thing is make good choices.
Yeah, make good choices. Be healthy with it.
Be cautious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying befriend everybody that you meet. At
all. Don't pull in people that you are not going to want to be friends with 5 minutes after you meet them.
And again, everybody's not going to be a friend. So be careful with that, where we're speaking of making connections. Yeah, making networking and talking about a shitload of associates, that you can use for information and resources. And if they turn into being close friends and lifetime friends, that's great. But I'm not saying go somewhere and look for 100 new friends. No, I'm saying go somewhere, kind of network, meet some people, ask some questions, ask around. If you find some interesting people that you want to get to know or build a relationship with, fine. If not, that's fine too. But be willing and open to new opportunities and new people and having conversations and going places and kind of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Right. And like Tina said, you're making connections. So these people may not be around in a year or two, but you're basically just making connections. And what you're trying to do is just reach out to people that while you're in this new place, they can help you adjust. That's the whole point. The people may not stay around forever, but they're people that will help you ease into this new journey and this new place, because we don't want you to feel so alone that you run back home because of that, because that's really not a good reason to run back home because you didn't make any friends the first week. Right.
If you care about that. But then too, though, I think about just the associations. Just for instance, say you meet someone and you meet them out, or they tell you, like you ask them, okay, for instance, hey, where's a good place to go on Friday evening for happy hour? And they tell you, oh, well, guess what? Me and my friends, we're going here. We usually go there. You go there, you meet them there. Well, you may make a different connection. It may be one of the friends in the group that you hit it off with in regard to you have something in common and you guys just really click and you like their vibe, and you may find a bestie there. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily a bestie, but you know what I'm saying. Right. It may be someone else within that association that you've established that you do connect with. So don't be so like, well, I really don't, you don't have to be their best friend. Just kind of ask them again, where do you usually go? What do you guys usually do? Where do you and your friends hang out at or whatever? Where's a good place to catch a movie or catch a live band, something. And then you'll be surprised how many times people go, well, this is where we go, or this is what we do, or they may even invite you to go. Yeah, because if you move somewhere where you don't already have family or friends, and you move somewhere where you don't already have any type of connections, it's going to be up to you how successful that journey is for you. And we know everybody is not outgoing or the social butterfly, but you're still going to have to make those connections when you have the opportunity. That's why I say maybe church, because they'll be a little more subtle until you see them outside of church. And you're like, oh. They be like, we're going to happy hour. Yeah. And I'm not judgy, so hey, if the church people is the ones that get it popping, I ain't going to judge you. Right. If the church people are the ones that get it popping, hey, get it popping with the church folks. But what I'm saying is you just have to have your options open, because if you don't, you will have a miserable time. You will be miserable. You will be ready to go home. You have to explore all your options and then weed people out and decide who you really want to keep your connections with. But when you move to a new state, you have to be open to new things. Yeah. That's so true. I had something I was going to say, and I kind of lost my thought because you got me talking about the heathens and the church people, and I'm like,
oh, the church people that really sit on a happy hour row. Okay, and then you see me there, you like, she was just praising the Lord. That don't stop me from that just because I like to know where all the happy hours are.
Right. But what was I about to? I had it right there. I was about to tell these people something really good too.
Tina probably was about to tell them where she found the international spot with all the things that are legal.
No, not this time. No, but I was thinking about,
we need to know what it is.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Okay, so something in some place we always, well, I'm not going to say always because sometimes we don't. I don't like to do it, but you go grocery shopping.
Right.
You have cashiers, and sometimes you get some of those that don't like to speak or get all rude or whatever.
But they all work at Hy-Vee, so don't y'all worry about that.
But I mean, simply if you strike, usually sometimes, most of the time they'll say, hey, how you doing today? And I'm like, fine, how are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. Hey, what's a good so-and-so? I mean, just anybody you're coming in contact with sometimes.
Yeah, make it known.
Yeah, it's okay to ask a question. Don't feel weird or too shy because, I mean, that's probably something that many other people have asked also. So you're not probably the only or first person to ask. But definitely, if you see another parent, say, for instance, if you're walking your children to a school bus, you're standing there with your kids waiting on the school bus, hey, speaking with the parents there. Just any and every opportunity that you feel like could afford you a new association or a new opportunity, don't be afraid to take it. Step out, of your comfort zone and just speak. Even if you're a shy person, start off with just saying hello. Right. And you'll be surprised. Or, oh, it's a lovely day out here. Small talk. It always starts a conversation.
And I really do think you brought up a good point at the grocery store because that is your opportunity. Honestly, it is. I told you I was at H-E-B. We miss H-E-B. Yes. I think Kansas City instead of Whataburger really should have got a bunch of H-E-Bs because H-E-Bs are the best. Yeah. But, I mean, just as simple as H-E-B, I found out that the lady went to our institute here. So just your conversation at the grocery store, and I'm going to say probably the grocery store is probably one of the biggest opportunities, honestly, or restaurants or bars. Right. Because people in restaurants, they probably have seen a ton of people that have moved or relocated. And if they haven't themselves, they probably can tell you other places that refer people or things like that. I lived in Las Vegas, and it's probably one of the hardest transitioning cities. And the reason why I say that is because, for one, everybody there was rude. I didn't meet one nice person. And this was even on a college campus. And then for two, it's a big transitioning city. So everybody's constantly moving in and out. And you have a lot of people from Arizona and California. But it also gives you an opportunity to talk to those people and kind of find out what they like or what they didn't like about the city. So it's just more like we said about opening up, talking to people. And I know some people are just really not the talking people type. So you may not be as open to that, but just find your comfort zones. Like I said, whether it's the school, the church, or those places, and just kind of use it to your benefit. Maximize it. Maximize it to your benefit. Hey, I just moved here from Kansas City, Missouri. We used to do this at home. Right. Do you have any places that serve good barbecue? You have any places that do this? You have any karaoke bars? Like the things you like, throw them out there. Somebody may be able to tell you where to go.
Yeah, sporting events. If you like to watch baseball, hockey, soccer, football, whatever. You know? Or if your kids, again, if they're part of a league or something, or if they play sports at school, attending those activities, or even a program at school, like the auditorium, speaking with the parents, using all and every opportunity that you have. And when you come in contact with other people, just to ask. People are a great resource if you're willing to ask or talk, or, like I said, you don't have to feel like you're going to boggle anybody now. Just one simple question can open up a door. So don't feel like you have to have a list of things you're going to run down to one particular, okay, and so and then when do you do this? And where do you have to, no, just one, hey, I like your hair. Where'd you get it done? Oh, next person. Oh, I like your nails. Where do you go get your nails done? Something like that. Anything like that. Church, if you join groups, there's a lot of ministry programs at church, or they have singles groups, they have women's groups, men groups. Just use any and every opportunity to kind of network with other people and make some of those connections. You're going to have to fill voids. And I remember telling the one client I was talking about before, when they were from another place, place and they were like trying to figure out things. I'm like, you're going to have to fill those voids.
Right.
And the only way you can do that is you look for those opportunities, whether you're looking online or if you're talking to people in person. If you don't get out much, then your only means will probably be online. I say use your everyday activities and things to find these opportunities, because if those are the things that you're normally doing anyway, you're not really having to go out of your way. It's going to feel really normal and natural for you, whether you're going to a grocery store, hell, filling up your gas tank.
Right.
You know, you could be at the gas station and if you're a woman and you're taking another woman standing there, she feeling, hey, you know what, I was looking for a great restaurant around here, you know, anywhere close by here. Or if you're a fellow, you know, you're a man away, hey man, I was looking for a good shooting range or something in the area. Do you know where I can go? Or you know,
or you may even
country
see
club or whatever.
Right. Or you may even see out-of-state tags.
Yes.
I just feel like you have the opportunity to make or break that opportunity. I really do. You have the opportunity to make and break those connections. If you choose to be more quiet and step back, that's fine. But you have to understand those are going to be the results that you get. If you choose to be a little more outgoing, where everywhere you go, you try to make a connection with at least one person. And it doesn't mean, like we said, they don't have to be your BFF, but you see somebody with out-of-state tags, you go, oh, you're from such and such. Oh, how long have you been here? Oh, I'm telling you, those simple things. And yeah, they may not be your person, but like Tina said, they may know somebody else that will be a connection for you. Oh, no, but I have a friend. She doesn't have any kids. She loves doing this, this, and that. It's just about being open and not the first thing that doesn't go your way, being ready to throw in the towel, because that's not what it's going to be about.
That's right. So don't be afraid to make connections. Make sure that with your new job and your new state, that you're creating new opportunities and new experiences to navigate your new journey.
Right. And if the job that you came with or the career path you came with no longer serves you in a new place, don't be afraid to venture out from that too.
You can always change.
Yeah.
You know? Again, that's another way to make connections.
It is. That's probably going to be one of your biggest.
Or going to the career, what do they call them? The career centers that they have in certain places.
And unemployment offices where people fill out job applications.
And you're probably going to see a lot of people there. And whether they're the people that work there, the people that are in there trying to find a new job too. That's a good way to find a new job, as well as some connections.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally agree with that.
So any other connections that you can think of, or any other advice or tips that you have for them in making connections during their new journey or during their new career paths?
I think the biggest thing is just to keep your mind open. Even if it's something that you didn't do in your old state, I think it's just important to keep your mind open, keep your options open, look at everything as an opportunity. And I think if you do that, you will find some connections that will last a lifetime. All of them will not. But I think if you leave your options open and you're open to meeting new people, you'll find exactly what you're looking for.
I agree. And just like we said, the title of this episode is State of Arrival, navigating your new journey. So in your state of arrival, meaning, you're arriving at something new, some new beginnings. You're wanting to navigate this new journey. You're on a new career path. You're making new connections. You're really going to have to take new steps.
Right.
If you keep doing the same thing you do, you're going to keep getting the same thing you got. So like Doc was kind of saying, don't do the same thing you were doing at home if that was something that you were trying to get away from.
Right.
Because like they say, insanity is what?
Doing the same thing
and expecting different results.
You're not going to get them.
Yes, definitely. So if I had to leave you with anything, that would be it. Remember the state of arrival. You're coming into a new. That's what you're doing. So let's do something new. Let's try something new, and let's not do the same thing we've always done.
Right, because chances are the same people that you knew where you were moving from may not be the growth that you need. So maybe these new people will. So just keep your options open.
Right. And until next time, people, stay hopeful
and stay curious.
Before we part ways, we invite you to share your own stories, thoughts, and reflections with us. Connect with us on social media, reach out through our website, or simply leave a comment on your preferred podcast platform. Feel free to leave us in voicemail at 816-607-1243 with any thoughts, concerns, or questions that you'd like shared on Lifing 101 or just answered or addressed. If you prefer to send us an email, feel free to do so by sending it to our website, lifing101pod.com or send us an email to info@lifing101pod.com. Your insights and experiences enrich our shared understanding of this incredible journey we're all a part of. Please subscribe to this podcast and follow our website, lifing101pod.com, and find and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and keep embracing the vibrant, unpredictable, and awe-inspiring journey that we call life. Goodbye for now, and may your days be filled with endless wonder.